Let's freaking go. Thursday night is live and popping. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am so freaking excited to be with you on a glorious day of bowl games as we are one day closer to not only LSU versus Purdue, but the college football playoff that is going down this weekend. We're going to talk about that. But obviously, the big story is Kayshon Boutte's decision to go to the NFL draft. Now, you notice I did not post a video. Normally, if there is a big A-list breaking news story such as that, we'll either go live right on the spot or we will post a video. But what I decided to do was be patient and allow the story to breathe just a little bit, right? Because everything that unfolded over the past 48 hours was very bizarre. Okay, we say hi to William, we say hi to Tony, rocking the new PHL gear. Get it? PowerHourLSU.com. RFP Pele, the GOAT. Danny, good to see you. Jay Red, good to see you. There we go. We got our first super chat already from Austin. Thank you so much for the Venmo. We say hi to Austin. Right off the jump here, my question, do you think it made sense for LSU to come out with the initial statement of Kayshon not playing in the bowl game? It seems like it caused more confusion. So I'm really glad that that super chat coincides with what I am going to lead with here today. Now, we say hi to Roger Dodger. Good to see you, man. So let me start off with this. I do think, and it has been reported, that there was a violation of team rules of some sort, right? I'm not the breaking news guy, but what I can tell you is, as someone with a journalism degree, I feel comfortable saying that something happened. It could be a combination of things, but there was some rule that was broken. We don't know the full story about anything just yet. But yesterday, I decided to not do a breaking news story because when Kayshon initially announced that he was coming back, I did a breaking news story without even thinking about it. And this time, I wanted to give myself a full 24 hours to comprehend everything, if it even was in the best interest of the team at first for Kayshon to come back. Now, what I'm not going to do and what I'm not going to allow, at least now in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm not going to allow this to become a Jaden Daniels chat. I want to just focus on Kayshon, okay? Because I know a lot of people are running with the narrative, Kayshon left because Jaden is coming back. That's a bunch of bunk. It was pretty well known that Jaden was going to come back. If that was the case, why did Kayshon announce that he was coming back when he probably knew who the quarterback was going to be? Okay, so I'm going to answer Austin's question here, right? The reason why LSU releasing the statement happened, okay? So I'm going to give you a timeline here and share with you what I've learned, okay? So yesterday, it was reported by everyone. LSU sent out a mass email that Kayshon Boutte is not going to play in the bowl game, but he is enrolled for spring semester classes. Now, normally when you see an official statement that's released, they want those statements to be as vague as possible while at the same time reporting the major fact. So I thought it was very interesting that they included that he was, enrolled in spring classes. Then it came out a report that Kayshon was just focused on getting ready for next year, which I thought was a little strange, right? Because there's a lot of time until next year. And if you're on the team and you're returning, I don't mind if you opt out and don't play in the bowl game if you're transferring or going to the NFL. But if you're coming back next year, play in the bowl game, right? KJ Jefferson played in the bowl game, and he's coming back next year. And he had an NFL decision to make. So I didn't fully buy that. I was like, man, it seems a little strange, right? So then Kayshon released his own straight-to-the-point Twitter statement that he was entering the NFL draft. Now, if you follow LSU media really, really, really closely, and I'm answering Austin's super chat, we're going to get to all these other, questions here. Once again, if you want your question to jump to the front of the line, please super chat and support. But Kayshon released a statement, and it wasn't a fancy LSU graphic. So after this live stream tonight, I want you to go look at Jeray Jenkins. I want you to go look at Jaquelin Roy. And I want you to go look at BJ Ojolari's media. They all had the same graphic and the same media made for them, right? And Kayshon just released a tweet. So what does that tell me? Number one, LSU releases a statement that says Kayshon is enrolled in spring classes, and he is not playing in the bowl game. So by that time, when that mass email was sent to all the reporters, that let LSU know that Kayshon's coming back. And then just a few hours later, Kayshon announces that he's going pro. So what does that mean? Well, more than likely, Kayshon was just fed up with the situation, and he decided to go to the NFL draft. Okay? So to answer your question, Austin, it is a really, really, really good question. All right? Once again, I'm going to repeat it here. Do you think it made sense for LSU to come out with the initial statement of Kayshon not playing in the bowl game, seeing like it caused more confusion? That's because it wasn't their fault, right? There wouldn't have been any reason for them to send that out if they did not believe that that was going to happen, right? Apparently, Kayshon had not been with the team for over a week now. A lot of very bizarre things. So what does that lead me to believe? That the way all of this has happened is that there's probably some violation, something. But at the same time, I go back to Kayshon's initial statement, and while I was so excited, I was jumping for joy. I was like, this guy is making the selfless decision to help us win a national championship. I probably should have been a little bit more skeptical then, because everything Kayshon had said up to that point was leading us to believe that he's going to the NFL draft. All of this just seems just way all over the place, honestly. And look, I think some people at LSU are as confused as you are and as confused as I am. But all we can do from here is comprehend what actually happened here with Kayshon. We might learn something. We don't know. We don't. But what I can tell you is this, all right? This isn't the first time Kayshon has caused some kind of distress or confusion, okay? And while we always love every LSU Tiger that suits up, especially one as productive and as successful as Kayshon, I think he's going to be a superstar NFL wide receiver. I don't think that about every LSU player. I really don't. I do think he's going to be a big-time NFL potential Pro Bowl wide receiver. Let's be honest. Kayshon has not handled this past year well at all, right? Whether it be the initial Brian Kelly announcement that he was the head coach, and, Brian Kelly having to say something in that initial press conference, to sometimes you would see it on film, some lackadaisical play, to, other things that just weren't the absolute, best handled situations. And, I love Kayshon for it. I love Kayshon for what he's done for the program. I love the Florida game, his leadership, speaking to the team. Obviously, in the middle of the season, he really started to kick it into gear. And this wasn't a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. And it wasn't just his fault. A lot of it's on the passing offense. A lot of it's on protection, play calling, and a lot of it's on Jaden as well. There's a lot of different reasons why this season was so disjointed for Kayshon. But if we're being honest, if this just came out of the blue and he had a change of heart, it's one thing, but it's another thing in that there have been other instances of how locked in is he that has happened over the past year. And what that tells me is he was ready to take that next step, which I don't blame him at all. A lot of players dream their entire lives to going to the NFL. It is, a big opportunity for life-changing amounts of money that I will probably never attain. I totally get that. But this year was, not the whole thing's not the best handled, and it did leave LSU in a bit of a quandary, right? Yes, they still got Aaron Anderson, which is obviously big, but there were some other receivers in the portal, and that LSU might have pursued. And if that Kayshon's returning, that's minimum 40 catches, 60 targets going his way. So it's a very confusing thing, and to have the change of heart and not going to the bowl game and all of that, it is a very strange change of events. It really, really, really is. Now, look, understand, and you guys know me personally, I am pro LSU everything, right? This is my favorite team. When Kayshon goes to the NFL, I'm going to buy all his rookie cards like I do all the other LSU players. I got a ton of them, of Kayshon's LSU uniform cards. And many of you know it. He is one of my favorite wide receivers to watch. But this was a really tough end to a tumultuous season here. Okay. So I agree with Max. I don't hold it against him, though, initially making this next step. Now, here's another truth about the situation, okay? I want you to take away a lot of different truths here. Number one, I do believe there is something, right? There's something that has happened in the past couple of weeks, months, that changed his mind. And there has been reports that there was some violation or whatever. I don't really care, as long as it wasn't nefarious. That happens, players, whatever. But until it actually comes out, we don't a gazillion % know anything. Okay. So the first thing is, I do believe, something. The second thing I'll say here is, Kayshon did not handle the situation the absolute best. The third thing I will say here is, I feel he is one of the most dominant LSU wide receivers of all time when he was healthy, strapped in, and ready to go. Okay. Number 4, he is going to be an absolutely giant wide receiver at the NFL level. Giant. I really, really, really do believe he is going to be a monster at the next level. Okay. So I truly do believe Kayshon is going to be fantastic. I really do. My evaluation of him does not change. He's got early breakout age. He's got elite athleticism. He's got an alpha mentality. This last year just didn't go his way, right? Some of that's on him. Some of that is on outside factors. So I like Kayshon. I always will. But we'll see what happens here. But yes. I really think it's because of a violation. Honestly, Joshua, it makes me think that there really was something. It really does, because the way the timeline worked itself out, it was very bizarre, right? It was very, very, very bizarre. Now, we move along here to another story. Major Burns just announced that he is coming back for his senior season at LSU. That's obviously a really, really big news item right there for LSU, considering the secondary is going to be very thin. Major Burns had a really good season this year when he was healthy. That's going to be the big thing. Health has always been a thing with him. He's one of the few safeties you'll see with the neck roll. Okay. Besides a Danny girl, besides to the kid. But yeah. Rob, the phone bomb on Blake Shaw. I apologize to him. Yeah, that was BS. They're trying to hide something. I don't know if they're trying to hide. I don't know if anybody's trying to hide anything at this point, Rob G. I really don't. But I will say that there has been, it's been very hush, right, as far as information regarding this whole thing. And we won't really know a whole lot until Brian Kelly has a press availability. We just won't. So until that happens, we can speculate all day. And I know I speculated tonight saying that I do think there is something. I do think LSU was caught off guard just by the statement. Okay. So there you go. What's up, Greg? Now I already know what the next big question is going to be. And also, thank you so much for the first super chat. I really do appreciate you, man. The next big topic, obviously, is Major Burns coming back. That's obviously really, really, really huge. We're going to talk about that tonight. But before we continue, understand that a player of Kayshon's ability. I'm an LSU fan, obviously. Love the guy. I do. And I think he's going to be a superstar. But at the same time, we could be objective and say, what the heck? Wait, you didn't go to the bowl? What? And it's strange because players that aren't playing in the bowl still travel, right? Like Mason Smith still traveled with the team, right? According to Wilson Alexander. I listened to his interview earlier with Blake. So yeah, we'll see. Burns and Brooks at safeties gives us stability, yes, and big game experience. I do think we're going to need to find some backups there, whether that be Toviano, Kylan Jackson, whoever. Matthew Langlois, deep cut for you. So, yeah. If it was a violation, it had to be recent because he wouldn't have said he was coming back. Yeah, it's strange that I think type Y for yes, type in for no. Do you find the timeline to be strange? Or do you think he just had a change of heart and nothing happened? Type Y if you find the timeline strange and if you think there is something. Okay. Jeremiah says this allows Aaron Anderson. And you guys know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. I'm telling you, if you watch LSU football news every day, I got LSU alerts on my phone. Everybody's announcement is a graphic of some sort, and they all look the same, right? This was very strange. Very, very, very strange. Okay. Huey believes nothing. The Master Blaster, Linda, good to see you. Frank, Rob G. So there you go. Now, I'm a big Major Burns believer. I love that hustle play he made versus McClellan in the Alabama game. That's incredible that he got burned and was still able to suck him up, even though McClellan had a head start. So, yeah. Jack Besh is gone. TCU. Okay. Paul says the wide receiver room is loaded. Okay. Now, I'll end on this. As someone that follows LSU and knows some people in that building, obviously everybody's kind of quiet about it. I think a lot of people are just kind of shocked by the entire thing. What I will say is they are rarely caught off guard. I will tell you that. Rarely. So, yeah, you rarely see any announcement without some fancy graphic, and they're normally pretty good about that. So, it was crazy, crazy, crazy day. But you see the title of the video. The truth is that a lot of this, how these last few weeks have been handled, sometimes it's the coaching staff. Sometimes it's the situation. A lot of blame is going to Jaden Daniels for whatever reason. No matter what happens here, this is mostly on Kayshon. So we shall move along. Okay. I don't think it has anything to do with. I really don't. I don't, because the team had a good idea that Jaden was leaving or coming back. So yeah, but it's good to see you, Simper. I was asking about you during the last live stream. Okay. I never thought he was that good. I'm smoking that good wood tonight, huh? Yeah, I just don't know if I've ever seen anything this false. All right. Tom, what I want you to do is count how many wide receivers you can remember in the college game that has had over 300 yards receiving in a game. Okay. Count how many wide receivers that, had a touchdown in essentially every game he played as a starter. Okay. When he was healthy and when he was fully locked in, Kayshon was one of the most dominant receivers to ever step foot on a college football field. Notice I didn't say at LSU, on a college football field, because he would have shattered the Biletnikoff if he never got hurt on the turf in Kentucky, with Max Johnson at quarterback and Jake Peets calling plays. Let's not kid ourselves here, right? Kayshon is that dude, and he is going to be really good in the NFL. I'm not just saying that because he played for LSU. Go look at the dynasty fantasy guys that play these huge dynasty fantasy things, right? Go see where they're drafting Kayshon. There's 2 receivers who are taking over him right now. Okay. Nurse Court's in here. What up? Ellie, I think he's going to make the first, right? Unless something, unless he just runs a bad 40 or something like that. He's going to make the first, no worse than the second. And yeah. And look, even if he goes second round, go list the top 20 wide receivers in the NFL, and there are a alarming amount that go in the second and third round, right? T. Higgins, Michael Thomas, obviously Cooper Kupp is in that conversation. So yeah, I mean there's a lot that fall in there. Jarvis Landry in his prime, obviously. So yeah, Kayshon is going to be a really good NFL pro, right? Go look at the numbers. It's one thing if you say you don't think he's good now, okay? But if you think he was never that good with Max Johnson and Jake Peets calling the plays, I don't know. He was going to win the Biletnikoff last year. Okay. Yeah, I'm not about that either. Like, don't go attacking players for whatever. Right. Let's go to Max. I also got a super chat here from Desmond. Let's start with Desmond. He got in just before Max here. You guys see Max's comment. Desmond says, Derek Davis Jr. traveling with the team. So what does that tell me? A few things. Number one, I think he's very interested in staying at LSU because he might not have anything in the portal, right? The colleges don't know if he's a running back or a safety. So who's to say he can't get a few snaps and work his way up the running back ladder or potentially get some snaps at safety? We're really thin. I mean, everybody's really thin in the bowls with opt-outs and all of that. So, yeah, Derek Davis Jr. did travel with the team, and we'll see. This is going to be a bowl game with a lot of youngins getting some playing time. Quincy Wiggins, LaTerrence Welsh, and Landon Ibieta. Look out for those 3 right there. Let's go. It could be a possibility that he wanted another option at quarterback during the bowl. I really do think that's part of it. No tinfoil hat, but there's also more. Okay, so I'll talk about this. And I'll share information with you. Okay, and I've shared this before. Does Kayshon have an affinity for Garrett Nussmeier? He does, right? He obviously said that in an interview, before last year with Tiger Rag Radio, and I just know this from speaking to a source close to Nussmeier, right? Kayshon loves him some Garrett Nussmeier, but so does everybody else on the team. Everybody likes being around Garrett Nussmeier. They just do. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm not in the building every day, but what I will tell you is Garrett Nussmeier is a very, very, very affable young man. And also, I will say this, and if you've played sports, you know this. If someone is super competitive and you see it every day in practice and he goes about his business, you gain respect, right? Why do you think people freaking love Jeray Jenkins in that locker room, right? I guarantee you, a lot of players on a lot of teams, you'll say, I don't like him. I don't feel that way about Gary Nussmeier. I don't feel that way about Jaden Daniels. I think everybody likes him personally. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. But yeah, it could be a possibility that he wants a different quarterback. I do think, like, let's say someone like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. I could see them enjoying playing with a quarterback who throws a vertical ball better than Jaden Daniels. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they hate playing with Jaden Daniels, or they don't mind winning games under Jaden Daniels, right? So I think, I feel as if the narrative surrounding Jaden Daniels is a little bit misguided. Even if wide receivers prefer a certain quarterback to play, they're still going to play. They're still going to handle their business, right? And yeah, I mean, this could be a possible theory, but to my knowledge, Max, I don't think that there was a rift between Jaden and Kayshon. Frustration, yes, because our passing game wasn't as great. And I will say this, okay? Obviously, one of Kayshon's most iconic games this season was the Florida game, right, where he really got us going. On both of his big catches early in the game, Jaden was really late on the throws, and Kayshon bailed him out. And that could be frustrating even if you are getting catches. So yeah, I mean, I think any wide receiver will tell you that you would prefer a more consistent vertical passing attack. But I do agree with this last part. There probably is, something, right? The McRib. I do too, Brian. I do too. True, Joseph. But what I want you to do is think about this, though, right? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, why would Kayshon come back if Jaden was coming back?
Hey, Bub?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the other channel's name? Josh wants to know.
Power Hour SEC.
Power Hour SEC. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, we hit 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty cool. Somebody asking about some of my SEC content. Really cool. I will say this because I know a lot of you are want to talk Jaden. All right. And Desmond wants to talk Derek Davis Jr. I love my channel so much that my biggest super chat tonight, we have such diehard LSU football fans who want to talk Derek Davis Jr. I love that. Thank you so much, Desmond. Good to see you again. Okay. But what I will say is, I lost my train of thought. Thanks, hey. I did see something very interesting. All right. There is a former LSU staffer who I know, and his name is Keith Sanchez, and now he's an NFL draft analyst. When Kayshon made his announcement yesterday, Keith Sanchez used to work at LSU, right? And when Kayshon made that announcement, Sanchez said something interesting. So he's an NFL draft guy. He obviously knows the game really well. He said it didn't make sense to him that Kayshon would come back with a quarterback who gave him the production that he gave him this year, right? Kayshon was a mostly healthy receiver this year. Why would he come back to a situation where he didn't really eat an offense anyway? And that's the thing, right? all of that, and going back to, the big topic at hand here, all of it is just very strange. And if you go back and listen to the free Power Hour LSU podcast on Spotify and iTunes, it's different than the live stream. If you go back and listen, I played some Kayshon audio before the season, and it seemed he was pretty dead set on making that jump. It's interesting. He did go in the portal. So what happens is you can go in the portal and still come back. In fact, you can play for your current team while you're in the portal, right? Coastal Carolina's Grayson McCall did that, right? He played for Coastal Carolina and he announced that he was in the transfer portal. Sam Hartman entered the transfer portal after the bowl game, but it was known that he was going in there. So yeah, I think I think for me, I'm interested to see what Derek Davis Jr. can bring to the LSU offense. So there you go. Now, we take a look at the poll question here. Are you sad Kayshon decided to enter the NFL draft? Very interesting here. 77% of you say no. You are not sad. Okay. Very interesting. I'm not either. One more thing on this. I'm a person that believes if you are not fully locked in to playing a sport, I don't want you in my locker room. You go to work every day, you're not fully locked in at your job, don't really care, right? Because it's work, it's your job. Now, if you're an astronaut, I want everybody to be fully locked in. But some jobs, work an office job, 9 to 5, data entry, if Chris is having a bad day and he's putting in, half effort, I don't care. Not sports, though, and especially not football. If you really wanted to go to the NFL, don't come back thinking with the mindset, thinking that you had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Okay? So don't just come in thinking that, right? That you think that this year is just, a liaison year for you to go to the NFL the next year. If you want to be a part of a team, like Pegasus says here, we need everybody to move forward together. Okay? Very, very, very important. Now, I do want to move on to another Kayshon, non-Jaden related topic. Over 211 of you in here. Okay. What would make my night tonight is if you join the new PHL t-shirt club. Okay. Got brand new PHL merch. I'm rocking my gear tonight. And guess what? You can too. Go to powerhourlsu.com/shop. That's powerhourlsu.com/shop. And boom, you can get a PHL hat. I don't think you guys know who this is. This guy is a radio legend. Okay. To get a PHL hat, send me a message on Twitter or Instagram. So you got to message me directly, or you can send me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com. But you order all this stuff online here. Okay. Next person that gets a hat, guess what? Or if you get $70 worth of PHL merch, I'm giving this out tonight. Early Doucette game worn uniform. You could see the mesh right here. Okay. Game worn material, Early Doucette. And I'm also going to give out the legend, Cade York's autograph tonight. Next person that gets a hat or $70 worth of merch, hooking you up with both of these legendary items. There you go. Early to set game worn uniform, Cade York. Melora, get your PHO merch now. It's your opportunity. I don't give out my game worn uniform cards all that often. Those are my favorites. Okay. So please go take advantage of that and help me feed my dog. Okay. Oh, it's even better than a burrow mesh, man. Who wouldn't want a burrow mesh uniform? They didn't wear mesh uniforms. Early do set. How about that? Nicholas Harbor. Good luck. ASAP. I love it. If you're my pilot, you better be locked in. Soon all pilots will be automated. So be ready. Thank you, J-Red. Tied for the biggest super chat tonight with Desmond. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Okay. So, Jared, you get to pick the next topic. Go right on ahead. So now I'm going to talk about the Jacobs PHL hat is in the mail, and I sent you some pretty dope cards. Also sent you a little bonus today. So be on the lookout for that. Just make sure you open the package slowly. All right. But yeah, you got to join the PHL Hat Club. Here's the thing. There's only 48 of these hats that are in existence, and they all come with a unique serial number. So guess what? Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm never making these again. I really do mean it. Like it's a pain. It's a pain to get the boxes. It's a pain to even get the hats. It's a lot of money up front. So, you know, what's today? I get a Madden Cruiser. With the Bloomin' Onion Outback Steakhouse. I wonder where those John Madden Cruisers are. They've got to be somewhere. I would love that should be a John Madden museum, the Cruiser. So I want to get into a few other different topics as we move along here. Okay. Florida State did win tonight, and Jordan Travis looks really freaking good. And they have a bunch of weapons, coming in through the portal. And, Oklahoma played really well. I thought Florida State was going to blow them out. Oklahoma played one of their better games tonight. That season opener is going to be tough. So I wanted to include that. Also, something else that I do want to insert into the Jaden Daniels conversation is next year, we cannot afford to have the Arkansas game happen again. Because of this reason, right? We got very lucky that KJ Jefferson did not play in that game. Now, this old vet has already seen my Power Hour SEC video on this. If KJ Jefferson was playing this for Arkansas this year, we probably don't win the game, right? Their backups were awful. They probably had the worst backup quarterback situation in the SEC, and KJ is freaking amazing. And I know Perk went off, but it took a superhuman defensive game from our guys to win that game. And we just can't have that happen again, because we probably won't be as lucky next year in those situations. Okay. So, KJ is a monster, and he's good. He's just really good at football. So, I'm glad we won the game. Obviously, the Golden Boot means a lot to me. I'm really glad we won the game. But let's be real here. We're very lucky to win that game. And I understand we should be happy we won. I get it. But, if number one was playing for them, it would have been tough. It would have been really, really, really tough. Okay. There you go. So Jared does have a PHL hat. Okay. So there you go. Now, something else. I am a huge fan of the college football bowl season. Okay. I think the Citrus Bowl is obviously not the biggest bowl we've played in, but it's still a bowl game. And in these games, our performances have obviously varied. Obviously, Brian Kelly got the better of us a few times, but I am a big fan of bowls just in general. I love the bowl season. I really, really, really do. I think for me, one thing that gets me really freaking excited about, this bowl game coming up is Drew Brees will be on the opposing sideline. I don't think he is going to be there in a major capacity. I just think this was a cool opportunity with an interim, but with like an interim kind of tag. But yeah, we go to Pigeon Forge. What's up, Pigeon Forge? Good to see you. Who do you think stepped up in the bowl game? Who do you think will be the MVP? So obviously in every game, you want your quarterback to be MVP. You want your quarterback to play phenomenal. So let's take Jaden and or Nuss and or Howard out of the situation here. Okay. And let's talk about potential MVPs. I think this could be a very nice opportunity for Malik Neighbors to, shut down the we're going to miss Kayshon, we're going to miss Dre kind of rumors. But we know Malik can play big. Brian Thomas Jr. got behind Georgia a few times and we just missed him. Can we get an alpha game from him? Right? We had the Florida game. We had a few other, bright spots for him. But I don't want your most dominant games to be against the non-Power 5 schools. Let's see BTJ go out there and alpha the heck out of somebody. So I am going to show some love to freaking Brian Thomas Jr. All right, Prez, we'll see you, man. Let's got in. Let's see. Watching the Cowboys. Are you kidding me? Who freaking cares? Huh? But yeah, I think, I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. Why not? Let's get some BTJ love. I also think Pigeon Forge, the big one here is going to be the defensive line, right? They're going to give Quincy Wiggins some snaps. I hope he produces. I hope he gets some confidence moving forward. I hope he plays mean. And yeah, it's been, a tough true freshman season for him. Terrence Welsh is going to get some snaps. And let's see what they can do. I think they're both going to get some good opportunities to play. I also would be interested to see some of the backups get some snaps at the jack, right? I know you got Braden Swinson coming in from the portal. You got some really good true freshmen coming in, but who is going to step up and play the jack? I don't just want Harold Perkins to start and play that position from the first snap to the final snap. Desmond Little obviously entered the portal. He's not really landed anywhere, but we'll see. I'm interested to see some other players step in. I think I saw somewhere that they're looking at Mike Jones potentially playing that role. Very interesting. But yeah, get creative. See if there's anybody that you already have on the roster that can play it, because obviously BJ Ojolari's absence is going to be huge if we don't find somebody else to play that very difficult position. So, William, I'm going to look for that jack position. I think that's going to be, the big one. We have a good idea what the rest of the defense will look like, but the biggest mystery going into next year is who are going to be the corners and who will step up and play the jack linebacker position. So, yeah, let's William follows up. Love me some BTJ. We need that D line to step up and the secondary. There you go. It's going to end this poll right here. I hope you're right. I do. I really, really appreciate it. Walker Howard burner account. Kayshon would have caught plenty of passes for me in 2023. I love it. It's going to be a long arse off season. I'm ready, baby. LSU football never gets tiring. Never does. That's a thanks for your Cash App a little bit earlier. I also love that the Let's Go band is around some dollar bills, $1 bills, the way the good Lord intended. What's up, Blaine? Good to see you. I was just about to ask about LaTerrence. Went to the same high school in Lafayette, but I'm old enough to be his dad. Hard for me to admit. LOL. Yeah. That is interesting at the same high school. I always cheered for players that went to my high school as well. You always have that connection, right? So yeah, I like that. Carl, yeah, I think he does. I read a long thread on this, right? The what truly matters in these 40-yard dashes. And the key number I kept reading was 4.5, right? If you're a 4.5 receiver, you're about a middle tier speed receiver. And that's about where you want to be. Okay. Garter belt at the club. What does? Kim Mulkey won tonight versus Arkansas. There you go. 2 golden boots in a row in basketball. I get down with it. No punts. I like it. There you go. So we got our next PHL hat, and it is none other than Cameron Cannon. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So yeah, I'll shoot you a message in the PHL Discord. All right, let's go to Desmond. Desmond sends another Cash App. I really appreciate that. Every time somebody sends a Cash App, somebody sends a $5 super chat. So let's start with Desmond here. Do I think LSU should go after Cincinnati's center? I don't know. Like, I don't know who it is. Like, it is virtually impossible to keep up with everybody in the transfer portal. Now, are there any rumors with LSU connected to the center? I don't know. But Desmond, to answer your question, yes, I trust your judgment when it comes to talent. So yeah, why not? Let's go for it. I'm going to look him up after this, and I'll give you a better answer on the next live stream. Okay. Let's go to Carvis' super chat. I want to see Quincy Wiggins, and I love Desmond super chats. It's always deep cuts. I love it. I want to see Quincy Wiggins develop into a DT and replace Jay Roy. Savion Jones and Shan replaces Gay. Womack and Swinson rotates at the jack. Very interesting right here, Carvis. Yeah, I could see Quincy Wiggins, gaining the proper weight to be a DT. Now that would take a lot of, added weight, but it is interesting, like how different defensive line play can be from the NFL to the collegiate level, right? Like in the NFL, there's still plenty of, traditional hand in the dirt pass rushing ends, like a guy like Nick Bosa, right? And then there's still you see more of this now. A lot of 2-point jack linebacker pass rushers. You think of, the Micah Parsons in that vein, right? Um, I can see Wiggins, go inside and play. I do think, the first step for him is just technique, right? I don't know how much has changed from, the spring reps until now. I'm sure he's gotten better. But, the spring reps, as far as like the technique and all that is concerned, was tough. But that's often the case for a lot of, true freshman defensive linemen. So obviously, I wouldn't judge Quincy Wiggins' performance versus Purdue if he gets any playing time too harshly one way or the other. But yeah, replacing Jaquelin Roy is going to be tough. And if Quincy Wiggins were to bulk up and play, defensive tackle, could he play the A gap shade role, or one, if you will? That becomes tougher the closer you move into closer to the football. So I do think LSU is going to more view Quincy Wiggins in that Ali Gay role. Savion Jones will likely start for Ali Gay next year, but Parashane is a very interesting player. Here's a guy from Ontario, Canada that fits what your prototypical 4-eye would look in a 3-man front, right? So think of someone like Rashard Lawrence, but probably not as good and not as thick of a player, but Parashane does fit that role probably a little bit better than what an Ali Gay or Savion Jones would fit in at that role. So yeah, I mean, I think Parashane can play. Womack and Swinson rotate at the jack. That, and I go back to this, I do think that's going to be the hardest position for LSU to replace. It's a difficult position. There's a lot that you have to do. It could be a little awkward being in a 2-point stance as often as you are right at the line of scrimmage, because, the guy you're going up against, well, he's oftentimes at a 2-point stance, the offensive tackle, but it is a little bit different. So yeah, I do think Braden Swinson is going to get a lot of playing time next year at the jack. How good he's going to be there is still yet to be seen. If you go to patreon.com/LSU football, I did a long breakdown of Braden Swinson, what I liked and what, I think needs a lot of work. But what's very interesting is Brody Miller tweeted out something that LSU said that they did not feel Braden Swinson was used properly at Oregon, which I think is very, very interesting. So they see something that, we don't. And that's obviously a really, really good and promising thing. But Carver, thank you so much. I love this. I really do appreciate you. Let's go to Banghammer Super Chat. Did Boutte's decision to declare coincide with JD5's decision to stay? Now, I know we spent a lot of time on it, but, Banghammers did Super Chat. I don't think so. I think and to go along with Max's point earlier, I think it probably played some kind of role. That, Kayshon's role with Jaden this year at the quarterback was tough, right? It is frustrating when the ball placement isn't, natural, if you will. There's not natural chemistry between the two of them. So what I will say is this, okay? Here's a good example of what I'm referencing here. So Tennessee game, they started off the game with a touchdown, right? Because we had the kickoff return mistake from Jack. Then they score the tutty, and it's the next drive, and we have a 3rd and about 5. And Kayshon dropped a pass. He should have caught it, but the ball was behind him. And if you would have let Kayshon on that play, it would have gone for a huge gain. Huge. And then obviously on the next play, we punted and they took it back, and, they scored a field goal off the long punt return. So yeah, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. That chemistry between the two of them, it just was. Now, did Kayshon still put up a respectable stat line this year? Yeah, but it just wasn't, special, right? Some of that is Kayshon, some of that is coaching, some of that is protection, and some of that, of course, is Jaden as well. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think Banghammers like when Kayshon made his initial decision, you would be. I'm skeptical when he made his initial decision that he did not at least think that Jaden was coming back. So there you go. Let's see here. Why is my phone doing this? We just got another PHL merch order. That's obviously great. Thank you so much. I like it. Cameron Cannon again. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. What changed? How did it go from unfinished business to declaring? And so I know you're just joining. I don't want to go back into all of what I said early, but that's my main question myself. There's something. There's got to be, just based on the timeline and how everything was, disjointed, right? There's something. We don't know exactly what that is just yet. It's not been confirmed. Anything, like, especially now, and I always say this story is very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre because what you have here.
Can you take me back real quick?
Yeah.
Right now.
But what you have here are two really, diametrically different things. Okay. Number one, you have this big decision to come back. And then number two, you have this decision to then leave, right? It's very, very, very weird. I'll put it like that, right? I've covered LSU football for a long time. And like I said from the get-go, right? It's tough. Any news? Mark changes. I love it, Cumby. I really. So as you can tell, Cumby is a big PHL fan. He won up to Des. I hope Desmond is still watching this. That is so funny. Oh my God. Cumby, during this live stream, I want to show him so much love here. Cumby, that shows effort. So Cumby saw that, thought of the joke, had the $100 bills or bill. I think it's bills. It looks like, and did the oh man, I love it. I just do. God. Oh. Go to Adam here. The receivers will never have great stats with JD at the helm, so I'm almost certain his change of heart was made after JD5 said he was staying. Then why didn't it happen sooner to after Jaden's decision, right? Like I said, it might have played a role, but I don't know, Adam. I don't know. Obviously, I love your profile photo. I just don't think that it had as big of a role. I really don't think so. So yeah, Mark one up me. No, I like it. There you go. So How did Cumbie switch it that fast? I don't even know how to switch it. That is so funny. Oh man. Okay, LA Mom, we're gonna put together the joke here. All right. So Desmond has had this photo for the longest. Ironically, Desmond has super chatted the most tonight. Okay. Along with Pigeon Forge and Jared and Cameron as well. So Desmond has this photo with a PHL band. It is the booger band right here. Okay. And he has it wrapped around a $1 bill. Mark, a minute ago, had the same thing, but with a $100 bill. So Mark was one-upping him, basically. Yeah, Adam, and I think, here's my thing. So Jack tweeting that out was very interesting, to say the least. Just don't delete it. But he deleted it. But so by deleting it, you're saying that it was referencing the situation. He could have just been laughing. Yeah, there's an easy way to get out of that. Hey, I was watching some Bill Burr. That's what I was laughing at. Don't delete it. And you have it up, don't delete it. So, the only thing I love more than a good dad joke. I'm glad the booger band is being used for good use. Actually, I used my booger band when I could. Exactly what Booger's memory would I knew right when Golden Boot would hop in, the tomfoolery would begin. Shout out to Aunt Marshall, slobbering a little bit here. Shout out to Aunt Marshall for hopping on with me on CBS radio in South Carolina this week. So let's see here. It's so funny. I'm so happy that Booger's memory is used when you are paying Cinnamon and Sunshine at Larry Flint's. I love it. Boog would be so proud of you, Desmond. Okay. There you go. But the only thing I love more than a dad joke. Oh, Tyler is the winner tonight. Tyler beat LA Mom. Oh my goodness, LA Mom. No, LA Mom's going. Oh, LA Mom's going to come after me. I know LA Mom is steaming Willie Beeman right now with anger. I mean, she is steaming Willie Beeman right now. I know it. I freaking know it, LA Mom. Tyler beat you tonight. What do you got to say about it? What do you got to say about it? I'm kidding. That's so funny. Yeah, Skip. There he is. Hey, Skipper, I like your shirt, man. I love this. So, Skipper, whenever I see you again, I'm going to be wearing the gray. The boss is going to be wearing the white, and you're going to be wearing the black. Okay. So, there you go. I love it. The long sleeve shirt is actually becoming one of my favorites. That's so funny. Oh, did he delete the original? Pigeon Forge, you missed it. It's hard to beat LA Mom. So, Tyler, congratulations. Tyler is also someone that's done the one-on-one consultation with Star. So there you go. Now, if you're new, you have no idea what the Presley Collection is, and I'm about to bless you with some beautiful jewelry. Presley Collection, PresleyCollection.com. So you do know this guy is just, made the channel so much better. Anthony Starr Presley and the Presley Collection. And here's the thing, I share what I've shared from my ring experience, but this is why you got to tune into every live stream. He's going to want to do more of these. He just wants to randomly jump on my channel from time to time. He did this last week. The good Lord is my witness. 8 days ago, it was one of the most epic nights on the channel. He decided to give out this pearl necklace right here. And it was delivered today. And I don't think Big Al's in here. He's kind of busy tonight. But we are going to hear from Big Al from some point about the story, about why it meant so much to him and his lovely wife. So that's what we do with the Presley Collection, baby. You guys know I'm very thorough. I don't do many of these. Presley Collection is the only one. Underdog Fantasy as well. Promo code Carter. I'm very thorough. I don't, just take anything just to take it. And it's cost me, I'm not going to lie, but I am a big believer in integrity and doing the right thing. And Anthony Starr Presley does just that as someone who trusted him with the biggest decision of my life. Yeah, it's weird ordering an engagement ring like over the phone and online. You normally just go into the stores and all of that. But trust me on it. I promise you. I promise you. You saw the ring for yourself. I'm telling you. Gina. Oh, that's an inside joke. A matching fit. So Jared has the hat and gray shirt combo. You'll have to admit the hat and the gray shirt combo is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Absolutely beautiful. Some people just want it all. Pigeon Forge just got himself a bunch of merch. I love it, man. That's good stuff, brother. That's good. He got him a long sleeve shirt. Pigeon Forge just joined the long sleeve shirt team. Okay. I see you. Oh, yeah. So Pegasus, I was just thinking about I wonder where John Silly Butler is. And I was like, well, no, duh. He's the biggest Texas fan I know. Well, actually, he's the biggest LSU fan I know, but he works at Texas, right? He's obviously done a lot for Baton Rouge. I was like, God, and John Silly Butler never misses. And I was like, oh, yes. Texas game. He's supposed to be sending me photos. I'll text him in a second. Okay. So there he is. I'm just saying. That pearl set I want is beautiful. My wife loves it. Going to try to get Carter some pics tomorrow. And again, she said thanks. And Big Al, as you know, I'm very familiar. She deserves it. She is a super strong person. So there you go. Now, Nurse Court is like, hey, I'm right here. LA Mom is like, hey, I'm right here. Can somebody order me some pearls? Okay. Heck, I'd rock the pearls. Some of the ladies at PHL are like, hey, the floor's open. Danny Girl's been in here. I'm going to be honest. Okay. I drank a lot of Dixie beer the night of the national championship game. Where I was sitting, they were just handing them out. And your boy went ham. And I never get toasted at LSU games because I like to watch and take it all in. Your boy was blitzed. Once it became a 17-point game in the fourth quarter, Wow. All I remember is running into Barry Sanders and just being in pure euphoria. Danny! Got an admirer. Peyton or Pimpton? JD5 should start. LSU would not have won the SEC West or beaten Bama without Jaden Daniels. Fact. True. That is true. We definitely would not have beaten Alabama. That was by far his magnum opus. It was really good. Okay. William, hey, let me know. I'll get you set up. All right. We sold a set of the pearls when we gave them out too, to Sells, James Sells. Okay. Now, let's end this poll. Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me end this poll here. Okay, let me do this. Let's see. In poll. There we go. Adam, let me send it to you. Mac, what's up? Yeah, it's true, Danny, but I will say that the Alabama game was really, 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 really special. And a lot of Jaden was so big for us in that second half. Not many quarterbacks would have found a way to answer Bryce Young in that spot. So I'll definitely, I feel comfortable saying that. But obviously, there are some other games where Jaden wasn't as great. Let's see a poll question here. So as I type this poll question, we're going to run a quick spot here. It's PHL, baby. This poll question is dedicated to Pigeon Forge. Very nice. Twins. There he is. I love it. I don't know how long the break is for you. I just, put one in so I could type it in. It's amazing. I run one break. 20 people are like, I can't wait 5 seconds. I've got to go. I got to leave. I was getting a sip. Actually, I didn't get a sip during the break. I need to get a sip. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. There's a lot more factors than just, Jaden winning the West. So I agree with that. And, we had some help from Tennessee and Ole Miss and, a few other teams. Yeah, Nolan. I'd like to see that as well. But I do think, game reps are so scarce. Like, I feel like in basketball, like if I were to go to like an AU basketball game and I were to watch just like 5 teams of 4 and 5-star talent, I think just through random pickup AAU nothing basketball games, I could determine who is clearly the best player on the floor, right? Football is just hard because you don't have many games. Spring games can't tell you nothing. Practices can't really tell you anything. You just gotta kind of. It's kind of a crapshoot, right? I go back to this, right, and for good reason because this kid is a freak athlete. But Tennessee thought Joe Milton was better than Hendon Hooker, and they started Joe Milton at the start of the Hypo era. Nobody knows. It is hard to know who your best quarterback is until the bullets fly and until you actually see them start. So that's why I really wanted to see how Garrett Nussmeier would react, in a starter's role. So yeah, I do agree. I think this would be, the best course of action for LSU. So there you go. Robert says Besher's going to get passed up by Shelton Sampson. Interesting. Oh yeah, the JD5 and Burrow comparison. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's funny. I kind of actually agree with this from Tyler, and I'm pro JD. I think you kind of know what you're getting from Jaden Daniels, right? And in a game where you're a 14.5-point favorite, it'd be it could be very, very, very interesting, right? Aaron Anderson will be wide receiver 1 next year. That's tough. Obviously, the injury history is going to be the first thing. So the first thing is, can he stay healthy? It's within the realm of possibility. It's definitely plausible. So yeah, I do think it's plausible. I do. Let's see. It was a new day yesterday. I like that name. Let's see here. A super chatter wants to know who am I most excited to see join the team. I'd probably say Denver Harris because obviously, he'd be filling in a pretty massive need for us. I'm happy we get some big guys on the D line. Yeah, I think Jordan Jefferson is very interesting as well. A penetrating defensive tackle. Obviously, the style of defensive line play is going to change for him. He made some big plays at West Virginia. There were instances where, he would get caught up field a little bit. But yeah, it's very interesting. Now, William, as a patron, you get access to my deep film breakdown on all four of the defensive line players, and it's not too deep. I cut actually a lot out, but you'll see the plays I'm talking about versus TCU. That's yeah. We need a Chad Lavallee. I wish we had him, right? But we'll see. Mason Owingo. Mettenberger is a Bammer now, so we don't talk about him on here. Somebody wants to say that, you won't win a national championship with JD5. I'll agree to disagree to this. National championships are hard, right? Only one team wins them every year. So this litmus test of national championship or bust is kind of flawed, right? Because it's a 1 year sample to prove if Jaden could win a title. They honestly, said the same thing about Stetson Bennett before last year. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. What I will say is our yard per play numbers do need to get better if he is going to be the quarterback of a college football playoff led team. And also, it's a stretch to say any quarterback can win a national championship because such few teams actually ever get that opportunity. So, it's hard, right? Like if you say, well, so-and-so won't win a national championship. Well, yeah, less than 1% of college football quarterbacks next year will be a national championship winning quarterback. So, I think a better question is, can Jaden lead a team to a college football playoff? I think that he can, but it's going to take a lot. And, it's all there is to it. So once again, I'm going to do this tonight. Okay. So you notice Brian and Brandon have the same letter, same color avatar, and same initials. It is easier for me to see it if I see your beautiful faces, right? So Joshua's face is there. DeMarcus's face is there. Nurse Court is there. Boar is there. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see your comment because it is a little confusing. We had over 200 people in here just a minute ago. It gets crazy from where I'm sitting. It's a lot, right? One time I'm going to have like just a viewer sit just so you could see everything that's happening. And yeah, it could be, it could be tough. Maybe. I mean, until we know more, we don't actually know what he was laughing at, to be quite honest. So, yeah. Dr. Dread. Jacob, what's good? That's right. We want to see those beautiful faces. I think you just go to Google and just change it. I just think you just go change like your Gmail profile photo or something like that. But a dude from Colorado, yeah, it does get a little tiring, right? Oh, come on. Uh, they don't. Sacks do not kill you. They're not great, but you know, they don't. Right? We set a record for sacks. Won the West. Sacks are very overrated, both in terms of who actually gets the sack and offensively how much it can hurt you, right? Is it a 2-yard sack or is it a 9-yard sack? Now, there were some sacks that Jaden took where they should have been, where they should have been bigger gains, and he missed guys. But honestly, sacks aren't the worst thing. Um, Defensively, a better way to look at sacks or pressures, right? A pressure up the middle or a deflected pass, all those things are oftentimes as effective as a sack, right? Um, and also as a quarterback, how many yards did you lose on the sack? And was the sack a strip fumble or not? I think those things, are very, very, very important. But yes, he did take way too many sacks. I would agree with that. That's why we love you, buddy. Trusty. There you go. I just changed my photo and it took me 10 seconds at best. I love it. I like it, Charles. Like the photo. We got a nice living room backdrop. Got a bulletin board back there. I think that's what that is. Bulletin board material. I like that. He would still have a shot. All right. Um, Jaden did have 10 interception going in. Exactly. Like there was 2 sacks versus Alabama that I thought he actually made the right decision. I think it was in the second half. I'd have to go find it, where Bama was in man coverage and everything was covered, and he had a rush lane where he probably would have picked up 20 something yards, and he got sacked because the D lineman did a good job squeezing the hole. Pause, but I made a good play, retraced his steps. So there you go. Got an eye patch and a hair lip, no profile peer pressure. Please respect my decision. Nothing wrong with an eye patch and a hair lip at all. You're beautiful, whoever you are, Jay Towers. Awful is a strong word for the O line. Inconsistent, I think, would be a little bit better. They were not awful though. I mean, they weren't great. I wouldn't consider them a top 3 offensive line in the SEC, but they were good. I mean, this was a good group. Once again, not one of the best. Not up there with 07, 19, 15. Not as good as those lines, but they were still solid, especially with the extra contacts that you started 2 true freshman tackles. So I mean, they're okay. I'll say that. I'll defend them. I agree with this. I do. Let's see here. And I don't know why this is doing this for me, but I have no idea why this is the case. But Twitter has been giving me issues. Okay. So, as we move a little bit later, we talk about other college football stories. I do want to touch on this really quickly. Okay. There's a lot of discussion about the bowl season. Reggie, my brother, good to see you. I always get excited when I see you in the chat. And I'm looking at you right now, wherever you might be. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to look up here or right here. I think it's supposed to look right here. Either way, the college football bowl season is fine. There's a lot of discussion. What do we need to do to revamp the bowl season? The college football bowl season is fine. Let me repeat. The college football bowl season is fine. There don't need to be any changes. Maybe some revamping. True. Okay. the college football bowl season is fine. We shouldn't have 6-6 teams in bowl games. I hear that all the time. Why not? This is not a playoff. This is not a postseason. This is a college football bowl season. Okay. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Fancy cameras off. So I am able to look directly at you. Okay. Who cares? I'm serious. Who cares? 3 million people are watching these bowl games. Not all of them. 3 million people watching Missouri and Wake Forest. Do you know how many people that is? That's outrating a lot of NBA, MLB big games. The Gasparilla Bowl. Right now, tell me where in the chat right now, I want you to tell me where the Gasparilla Bowl is located. You can't. You might be able to know. A lot of people don't know where some of these schools are located. 3 million. 3 million people watching these games. Is the viewership down some? Yeah. Does it need a few tweaks every now and then? Yeah. But they're beautiful. For one night or one random day during the holiday season, you get to be the story. So what? You only went 6-6. It's hard to win college football games. Doesn't matter if you're in the MAC. Doesn't matter if you're in the SEC. Enjoy it for what it is. It's not perfect. But which college football or just any postseason is perfect? Okay? It's in Tampa. Jordan Travis can freaking play. So I got jumped in recently for saying that. I know he's not the biggest name. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not the fastest, so he doesn't really, wet the whistle of any NFL scout out there. But Jordan Travis throws a beautiful ball, and his wide receivers drop a lot of them. I am shocked when I watch Florida State and see the receivers drop absolute dimes. They did it versus us. We better be ready for Jordan Travis. That dude can play, and his team is going to be better next year. We'll see what Johnny Wilson, his best receiver, decides to do. But Jordan Travis can rip it. So be the freak ready. I mean, he throws mother freaking dimes. Now, I'd like to go back and look at this, but Jordan Travis's big throw percentage is so freaking good. Okay. So you better be ready. Something else I like about bowl season is, if you have a playoff, you don't know when your season's going to end, right? There's something to be said about both teams playing a final. It's the finale. There is a certain level of desperation that comes along with it that I find to be very interesting. We sold a lot of merch tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Once again, I'll put it back up on the screen. If you want to wear the shirt that I'm wearing, if you want to wear the hat that I'm wearing, go to powerhourlsu.com. Once again, that's powerhourlsu.com. Send me a message, Twitter or Instagram at powerhourlsu. LSU. Okay. $31.27. Oh, you're holding up the family photo for the hat. No, that's dedication. That just made me feel really good. I don't know why. And your hat is in the mail. Now I got to make sure I ship all of them fast. So yeah. I saw where LSU assistant coaches said Walker Howard was the best QB on the team in practice this year. I don't see any way they keep him off the field next year. Okay. So, Steven, if you can direct me or tell me which coaches said this, or did coaches say this anonymously? Was someone else, did someone anecdotally say this? I'm interested. Very, very interested. There we go. PHL photo shoot. I freaking love it. I kind of just want to figure out where it is and just photo bomb it. Let's go to Cody L. Cody, good to see you. And now it looks like y'all are out to eat here. Has JD5 improved since freshman season? Honestly, it's a good question. So everybody, welcome, Cody. I can't see who this is with you here. Normally, if someone else has a photo in the photo, that person could be watching with them. So whoever this person is with you, I welcome them as well. Everybody, welcome Cody to the channel. Cameron, we're gonna get you all set up with your hats. There we go. Cameron, if you got to go to bed, we'll get you all set up with the hat. And I want everybody to welcome Cody. All right. Okay. So it's your daughter. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. You guys know what I'm about to say. Cody, if you're new, you have no idea what I'm about to say. That's okay. I'm going to say it again. All right. Super Dad's a PHL. I'm going to share something with you that's pretty deep. Okay. So sometimes you got to sacrifice, some things for this channel. And, I could have made this work, but, my dad is a big person when it comes to going to games. And we've gone to a ton of Sugar Bowls together. And he bought tickets thinking LSU was going to make it to the Sugar Bowl. Obviously, we lost to Texas A&M, and that cost us our opportunity to go to the Sugar Bowl. My dad decided to go to the Sugar Bowl this year because he already got the tickets and everything. My dad and I went to 15 Sugar Bowls together, 15. Okay. Well, I've been to 15 total, and I think he and I have gone to 10 bowl games together. And in my 34 to 35, close to 34 years of life, Christmas was one of my top 5 father-son experiences of my life. I thought all of them were when I was younger. We went to all the LSU National Championship games together. Went to a lot. I spent a lot of time with my dad growing up. Okay. And I understand, I promise we'll get into LSU stuff and all of that. I just wanted to share that because I always share these super dads. We need strong men, we need strong women in our society. Dads, moms, you got to be present for your kid, kind of like what Cody's doing here. Okay. But I wanted to share that because I always say that super dads and super moms of PHL, um, it means a lot that I still get to spend time with my dad and I still get to spend time with my mother. And I'm very, 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 very lucky that they were very present in my life. So I like to see that, Cody. Inspires me. Obviously, I don't know you, but I just love seeing, father-daughter time. Really cool stuff. All the girl dads out there, you rock. Now, going back to Cody's initial question, I always want to make sure I make people feel a lot better when they're first timers. Okay. Has JD5 improved since freshman season, honestly? There you go. TJ Rids. Ain't nothing like it. I'm telling you, I'm not a dad. So I know I probably shouldn't be speaking on this, but as a person who is the luckiest son of a gun on the planet to have, dads and moms and uncles that were very present in my life. You guys remember the Lemony Twang, thing that happened. My T Paula, one of the biggest influences in my life. I still go spend time with her, stay the night with her, and I just like how I did when I was 5. Enjoy those moments; they're not going to be around forever. So shout out to you. Now, Cody, I'm going to answer your question. Has JD5 improved? Okay. The answer is yes and no. Okay. It just depends on how you want to define improvement. Okay. Obviously, it's junior season or year 3. I think it's a better way to describe it at Arizona State. He did throw a lot of interceptions this year. He was by far, and it wasn't close. He was by far the most turnover adverse quarterback in all of Power 5. Now, a lot of that is him not deciding to throw the football, but turnover worthy play rate was honestly impeccable this year. But you know who else had a very, very low turnover worthy play rate was Danny Etling, right? Where he only had 2 interceptions his final year, which was a record. Now, Jaden is a better quarterback than Danny Etling, but avoiding turnovers is not the be all end all, right? Jaden's big time throw percentage wasn't great. And where he did regress is in a stat called yards per pass attempt. In other words, what is the average amount of yards you generate when you decide to throw the football? And that number was low for Jaden Daniels. So, yes, yard per play, yard per pass attempt, big time throw percentage, all those numbers weren't where you would like them to be for a year 4 starter with good receivers and an improved offensive line. Play calling could have been better. It is a little static. I'm going to be honest with you. But for the most part, I thought Denbrock was fine. I don't think anyone's going to, mistake him for prime Steve Sarkisian or Lane or anyone like that. So, yes, Jaden has improved. He is a steady, solid starter with a lot of intangible qualities. And Cody, I know you're new, and this honestly gets a little deep here. And I've shared this stat a few times. Jaden did wonders for our running game this year. And, this comes from someone that, and Cody, you might have played ball, but, this comes from someone that played defensive line. I hated playing mobile quarterbacks. I did. And honestly, it was harder to defend the run with the mobile quarterback than it was to pass, right? Because it's just something else that you have to worry about, and you play on your heels. And if you watch enough, you see how that helped our running game this year. Rush yards after contact was a legendarily high number for our backfield. And we did not have a Fournette, a Hill, a CEH back there. Josh was really good, and he broke a lot of tackles for us this year. But But yeah, there are some things that Jane improved with, and there are some things where he regressed poorly, and hopefully those things do improve, right? Um, but I also want to include this as well. And I understand, Jane Discourse is going to be, our channel for a long time. It is the most popular thing. It is the thing I get asked the most about. There's like maybe 5 good quarterbacks in college football. Like, honestly, that number's probably like closer to 20, but there might be like 10 guys that I would consider elite, right? That are coming back next year. Drake May, Caleb Williams. I'm going to put KJ Jefferson in that conversation. Jordan Travis, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. And those are just the ones off the top of my head. I know I'm missing a few there. So, I mean, there's not many great ones. Like, we've had more non-elite quarterback play than elite quarterback play. And obviously we would like to change that, but it's hard. It's really, really, really hard. So, yeah, I remember Jason Campbell. In fact, Keith, I was talking about the Sugar Bowls with my dad. We went to that undefeated Auburn Sugar Bowl. We were there seeing Jason Campbell and those guys. I love it. I loved it. And my dad's going to the obviously Alabama and Kansas State game. I love him so much. And I decided to stay home to work on the SEC channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Guys, thank you so much for that. Go to Power Hour SEC. Please go to Power Hour SEC and go support. Obviously, the Power Hour brand means everything to me. It's my baby. And you guys are, taking it to the moon. I really appreciate you. Gary, I guess you didn't watch Bo Nix this year. It wasn't just great. Like, I know he didn't make New York City. He was awesome this year for Oregon. Like, so what? He sucked versus Georgia. It's the first game of the year in the new team. So, Cody, hopefully I answer your question. Oh, you work out of town. Oh. Guess what, Cody? We have a lot of you. We do. One of my good buddies, Jason, works out of town, and Jason Morgan, and he's out of here tonight, but he's like you. He works out of town, and when he's not working out of town, he's spending all the time with his son. I got to meet him and hang out with him, and he is one of my biggest supporters, and I hope you are as well, Cody. Thank you so much for swinging by. Blake. Oh, God. Rafino? Really? Who would ever, and I mean ever, go on that guy's channel? My goodness. I mean, who would I can't even keep a straight face. But yeah, I love Blake, and he's obviously a really, really special talent. Okay. Now, I will share this for my 2-hour folks. We do run long. I'm proud of it. I did confirm a pretty fun guest for late February, and you might know who he is. I thought it was kind of cool. Rarely do you get this stuff happening to you, but Colin Hurley will be on the channel in late February, and I'm really excited about that. And he is a top 100 quarterback for the class of 2024, and he's committed. So Colin Hurley will be on the channel. It was kind of weird. I was on the channel before him. He was on Blake's show recently, and we actually have a connection. My voice was on one of his announcement videos recently. So Colin Hurley will be on here at the end of February. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, he's probably one of the most impressive, 15-year-old kids I've ever seen. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's got a transcendent mind. So show enough. What's up? That's my guy. So I want to shout out my PHL patrons. You have access to the Discord where Show Enough has just been killing it with his LSU knowledge. So go to patreon.com/LSU football where you can sign up and be a part of our private Discord. It gives you perks, discounted merch, and also something else that's really cool is you get a one-on-one Zoom call with me if you choose to do so. I love that. I love getting to chat one-on-one. I love getting to know a lot of you. So yeah, pretty freaking excited about that. And yeah. What's up, Jacob? Jacob doesn't want to do a Zoom call with me. He's like, I'm too busy. Just send me my hat. I love it. So here's what we're going to do. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can. I promise you, as many as I possibly can. But that's only in the next 5 minutes. But if you do super chat, we'll keep this thing going all night long. Once again, I'm going to say shout out to the Presley Collection and PresleyCollection.com. Get your one-on-one consultation today. All you got to do is shoot me a message or visit PresleyCollection.com. Okay? Because that's what we do. I don't know the girl on the way. Nuss QBR, 141, JD5, 143. That's quarterback rating. I like ESPN QBR a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to comprehend. Yeah, Sean said against backups against Georgia. If that's what you are referencing. Georgia's backups were not in. Is Racey McMath the best wide receiver name of all time? Yes. Until DeColdis Crawford came about. Okay. Made a good decision tonight to not start Hassan Haskins. What was his final point total? I could count it up here. 7. Good decision. Honestly, 7's not that bad, though. Just trying to get someone off the waiver wire. Yeah, 7.3. Unless they score here at the end. I mean, he could. What's up, pressure? Good to see you. I mean, he could technically come back, but I doubt it. The coldest. Tony said the coldest is a 5 name, but it's my last name that makes it great. Tony the Tiger Crawford. I love it. I freaking love it. All right. We're going to keep it going. Y'all better thank TJ. We're keeping it going. Haven't been able to watch because I'm at work, but hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're doing well as well, TJ. TJ, you get to pick the next topic. And if you haven't been able to watch, you could talk about whatever you want. I know you're a deep cut guy. You don't just want to talk about Jaden. So if you can, please pick a non-Jaden topic. The tiger is Crawford. I love it. I really, really, really do. Does the current Texas and Oklahoma coach make it to the SEC? That's a good question. Yes. I'm going to go yes. Going to go yes. Jacob, I'm pulling for Texas. We have no Washington viewers on the channel. We are with our buddy John Sibley Butler. Now, I'm not going to, horns up or anything like that. I love John Sibley to death, but, greatest Ole Miss quarterback of all time. It's important to not get carried away with the one game sample. I also do want to bring up that John Rice Plumlee was playing an LSU defense on the second half of a back-to-back road game, and historically, teams in that spot are worse defensively. Okay? One of my favorite moments on this channel was finding out that stat and exploiting that stat for gain. I would consider them great. I would. I mean, they like, were they 2021 Georgia? No. Were they 2003 or 07 LSU? No. But only 4 of the 15 games that gave up 30 or more points, all 4 of those were true road games. Once again, the back-to-back road game thing is a thing. Okay, one of those games was Tua in the 2019 LSU. They gave you one elite half, right? 2019 Alabama is arguably the second best team in the modern era. And Ed Orgeron made a really bad fourth down decision that kind of put them in a semi-bad spot. So the Bama game made sense, right? Bama's yard per play numbers were almost as good as ours that year. And that lets you know how good that Bama team was that Joe beat. So, yeah. Let's see. A few of you have requested the early Doucette uniform card. Jason, I'll send it to you. Why not? I love this card. Early Doucette uniform card. I love uniform cards, right? It's very, very, very cool. Okay. Oh, it's serial number 2. Only 250 of them. So, Jason, I got you, man. I'll throw some extra goodies in there as well. Let's go to Steven. Why is everyone making this a JD5 versus Nuss QB competition when actual LSU coaches Sloan have said Walker was the best QB on the team this year? Walker will be a major factor in 2023. Okay. So the first thing I'll say here, Steven, is send me where Joe Sloan said this, because he might have said it anecdotally. He might have said it in an interview. I don't know. Jason, thank you for the follow on the PHL Instagram, man. We'll get you all set up. Wonderful. I'll shoot you a message in a second, man. Oh, that's interesting. Harold Perkins was courtside for a Mavs game tonight. Magic game, excuse me. That's cool. I like to see that. And they said bowl games aren't worth it. But yeah, I don't know. If the LSU coaching staff feels that way about Walker, that's obviously a really, really good thing. And the hard thing is, people will say, well, this will get settled on the field. It's kind of hard to settle it on the field because you don't actually play games on the practice field. And that's where it gets hard, right? It's, yes, you would like to think that the best, quarterback will win out, but it's hard. It's really, 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 really hard. Okay. 2001 Miami defense is the GOAT. Man, it's hard. 2021 Georgia's good. 03 LSU is really good. But yeah, I mean, what was that? Sean Taylor. Was that? No, that's pre Jonathan Vilma. It has to be, right? So yeah, my brain's kind of fried right now. But yeah, I'm fine. I get down with the 01 defense. It had Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor with the rainbow visor is still the sickest college athlete I've ever seen. Okay. Vilma. So Vilma was on my team. So yeah. So Stephen, I'm guessing you're asking me now what's my opinion on the quarterback room. I mean, I don't know. I do think the QB room is one that will be tough to settle. It is hard for incumbent quarterbacks, especially ones that win the division. It's hard to unseat them with all that experience. It is a safer play as well because you know what you're getting. Okay. Now, Brandon says Walker is too young. Maybe so, but if I'm Walker Howard, I see Cade Klubnik has already won the starter's job at his job. I see that Connor Wigman has already won the starter's job at his job. So yeah, it's tough. Bethune-Cookman head coach Ed Reed. Yeah, I mean, it was a team, but the quarterback was Jaden Daniels. That was my main point. I agree with you. We discussed that earlier. It's good to see you, Brandon. Can't believe it. That man that you're standing with right there was courtside for a Magic game, at least for a photo. So there you go. Let me know if that answered your question, Steven. I think Walker Howard's really good. He had a really high grade for me. Oh, you didn't? Did you have a Sharpie with you? Oh man, you got to get him to sign. That super chat here. That defense was really good, right? So 2018 Clemson defense was Isaiah Simmons, Skalski, and one of the best defensive tackle duos ever, Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins had a career year, and Dexter Lawrence, went to the Pro Bowl. Wilkins also should have gone to the Pro Bowl. And that secondary was what? That was Darian Kendrick, right? That would have been Darian Kendrick, AJ Terrell. Yeah, dude, they were filthy. Kavon Wallace at the slot corner. By the way, I'm doing radio in Clemson Country tomorrow morning, so please tune in. And speak of the devil, I did not get any guest in the morning. So let's see if I could find somebody real quick. I just kind of slipped my mind. I thought I wasn't on the radio in the morning. I am on the radio in the morning. And I do not have a guess. Major Burns. Let's see here. Carter, I could put on some pants tomorrow morning if you need a guess. I might get you to call in. I honestly, it just kind of slipped my mind. Yeah, I gotta find something. So I might get you to call in tomorrow. Xavier Worthy's dropping passes. Any recruits signing in February? Honestly, not really. Like, most of LSU's players are already signed. But I do agree with Max. Clemson's defense was very, very, very underrated. Juana Montana, your first ever comment. Okay. I love when first ever comments are bizarre. Okay. Do us all a favor. Ask Blake to shave on the air. Okay. Now, Juana Montana. This is the issue I have with this. Okay. I've never seen you before. You have the Looney Tune character up here. This is where I'm a little concerned. Because I think Blake is sponsored by Manscaped. So I don't know where you're asking him to shave. I hope you mean his face, but if it's the other one, I don't know. You do you. Oh man. Starts at 8:15. Let's go. Let's see. This is South Carolina radio. It's fun. So, Juana, you want me to ask Blake to shave? I mean, I will. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Still to this day, the best college football player I've got to watch, Matthew. Honestly, I can't really disagree with that. Like, I mean, you can make a very strong case that it is Tyrann Mathieu. But what about Joe Burrow? It probably is Joe, but he also plays quarterback, right? What I will say is we have seen other obscenely good college football seasons at the quarterback position. Not as good as Joe's, so it is very, 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 very transcendently impressive. We've never seen another Tyrann Mathieu. Now, there have been other great playmaking DBs. Do people forget how good Minkah Fitzpatrick was at the peak of his playmaking powers? But, I mean, that 2016 Bama defense, all the touchdowns that they were scoring was so freaking crazy. Like, it got me so mad. How many touchdowns that they were scoring? It was stupid. So that was pretty crazy. But, yeah, you can make a case Tyrann Mathieu's the best college football player I've ever seen. Okay. Javon, welcome to the channel, everybody. Welcome, Javon. How do you feel about LSU's chances against Purdue? I feel pretty good. LSU, I think LSU is the biggest favorite left in the bowl season, right? We're 14.5-point favorites. Obviously, last year we were the shoe was on the other foot, where Kansas State closed as 10-point favorites. So, yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about it. It's obviously going to be really difficult. So, there you go. Guys from Fournette, yeah, they were filthy, and they could be the two best, right? I don't think Jay Hill would disagree with you either. And Jay Hill's in that conversation as well. And going from them to them to them is just truly, truly, truly incredible. Okay? So, thank you so much, Jared, for your super chat earlier. Big shout out to Jason. He's getting an early Doucette jersey card. Really excited about that. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. If you want to chat with me right now, I'm going to be chatting in the Patreon Discord right now. All you got to do, if you want to chat with me right now, okay, sign up for the PHL Patreon. Okay? Patreon.com/LSU football. If you sign up right now, I'll send you a Joe Burrow card. If you sign up in the next 10 minutes, I'll send you a Joe Burrow card. Okay? I'll get you access to the Discord and all of that. Okay? Patreon.com/LSU football. Okay? And I will be over there. Derek's going to be in there. Jared's going to be in there. So we'll see you in there. Okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Bam! And tonight, we are doing some chicken quesadillas. Let's go.